us were broke. We didn't have the money. We did not have the money. So now the bank charges us fees because this check bounced, right? So imagine we're already broke, but then they still charging us a total of 12.4 billion with a B. And by the way, guys, this was 2022 numbers. 2023 just ended, so we're gonna have updated numbers for 2023, but we already know it's higher, right? And then, is there help for the average person like you and I? No. There's help for the wealthy. JP Morgan, Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch, Fidelity. For them to get the type of information that we give to the average person, you gotta have $250,000 in assets and above. So there's help for the wealthy, people who have a lot of money. But what about the average person like you and I that barely got 10, 20,000? We're not gonna get the same information that the people who have $250,000 are going to get. So there's help for the wealthy, but because of us, our platform, we have help for the average person, the normal person that's not, having ridiculous amount of money to invest. 63% of us have no emergency funds, no money set aside to cover $500 in emergency. That's a problem. And we see this with GoFundMe, right? If someone passes away, we see they're asking for money for GoFundMe. And then there's a huge lack of advisors. The average age of a financial advisor is 55-year-old. So these people, right, are on their way out. They're in the retirement mode phase right now. They're on their way out. So there's a shortfall of financial advisors. This is where we come in because we're expanding. And then 74% of people said they want to work with purpose. They want to have a career that their work matters. I don't know about you, but when I was in corporate America, it's great and it's a career, but it was not purpose-filling. There was nothing purpose-filling about me, contracting hotels and getting these Fortune 500 companies to stay at one of our worldwide properties, right? So 74% of people said they want to work with purpose. So there is clearly a need for financial education. It's ironic that we live in one of the wealthiest countries, good old America, where there's so much money, but yet still we have a lot of money problems. You see, there's two types of families. You have family A, which is 95% of us. We have a retirement crisis. Why? We don't understand our retirement strategies. We don't save enough to begin with, and the accounts that we're saving in are not the best. We think they are. We think we're good, but they're not the best. Then we have an education crisis. Well, guess what? Your kids are going to graduate. If they want to go to school, they're going to graduate with huge student loan. Some kids are even opting not to go to college because they don't want to deal with the student loan. And then on top of it, we have a spending crisis. We're all guilty. We're spending too much. We're spending too much, guys, right? Including myself. I'm guilty. I'm spending too much. Even though I can afford it, I'm still spending too much, right? We have a spending crisis. We're spending more than we're making. And some people, even though they're making a lot, they're spending more. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have high profile clients that's making upward $500,000, but they still are in debt because they're spending more than they're making. They have lavish lifestyle, right? They have these amazing homes. They have multiple cars. They're making a lot of money and they're living a fabulous lifestyle, right? We're spending too much, right? And so debt become a way of life. But family B is where we're trying to go to. That's why we do these webinars. That's why we educate the public. That's why we sit with families to show them, hey, there is a better way. We can get out the rat race because family B is 5% of wealthy America. They understand that they gotta pay themselves first, not the cable bill, not the light bill, not the rent, not the mortgage, not all the necessities. They understand they have to pay themselves first. And they know where to save for their retirement. And they know where to save for their kids' education. Not in a 529. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a 529, you better get in touch with a person who invited you to show you where to save for your kids, right? You're going to see this before the end of the night. But if you have a 529, I'm just going to touch on that right now. That is no bueno, right? So we know where to save for our kids' education. And we also understand how to leverage life insurance. Now, most people, when they hear the word life insurance, they cringe. The first thing they think of is debt. But what if I tell you, and you're going to see this tonight, the wealthy people, they run towards life insurance because they understand the tax benefits, the living benefits, and the risk with protecting your money. The average person, if you had told me about life insurance 10 years ago, I would be like, no, I got my burial money. That's what most people think of when they hear the word life insurance, burial. No, I don't have 3.5 million IUL for burial. Far from the contrary, right? So now when you understand these concepts and you're part of the family B, which is 5% of wealthy America, you're good. Now you can say you're good, right? Because understand, most people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And if you don't have the information, it doesn't matter how much plan you plan. Guys, if you don't have this information, it doesn't matter how plan you plan. Yeah, you might do better than some, right? But it all comes back to having the education when it comes to your money. So we're going to talk about 3 rules of money. The first rule is the power and magic of compound interest. What is compound interest? Well, plain and simple, is you knowing how many years your money is going to take to double, right? It's a simple formula that my uncle Albert Einstein created. You take the number 72 and you divide it by the rate of return. That's it, right? So some of you may have heard it before, but how does that parlay into your money? Let's talk about how does that parlay into your coins, your everyday money, right? So let's say you're getting 4%. You take 72, divide by 4, that is 18 years. Assuming you have $10,000 today, right? Oops, let's do this right here. Perfect. Assuming you have, I'm streaming live on social, so if you guys follow me on social, make sure you share my page, right? Facebook.com/Odetta King. We see you over there. Thanks for joining us, right? So if you have 4%, 72 divided by 4% is 18 years. Assuming you have 10,000 today, 18 years, your money's gonna double to 20. And then another 18 years, it's gonna double to 40. So if you have a newborn and June, at birth, people give you money and you got 10,000 and you put this 10,000 somewhere earning 4%, when your child turns 36 years old, all he has is 40,000? Yeah, right? Most people don't even know this. So same thing with 8%. It takes 9 years. 12%, now it's gonna take 6 years. Why is this important? If you apply just this one rule to your money, let's look at a credit card. Most credit cards are way over 18%, but let's say 12% to keep this example. You borrow 10,000 from the credit card company, 12% is 6 years. If you do not pay back that 10,000 in 6 years, now it doubles to 20,000. When I first started this business many years ago, I had a client. She was drowned in debt. And she said to me, "Odetta, but I'm paying my credit card bill every month. Why I feel like I'm still not coming out of debt. And I said, well, what's the interest your credit card is earning? We did this exact same thing. Her interest was over 23%. So if you don't notice, which goes back to what I said earlier, you got to know this information. When you're saving money, investing money, or borrowing money, you always want to apply the rule of 72 and pay it off before it doubles. If you're borrowing, if it's a loan. But if you're putting your money somewhere to grow, to invest, you do the same thing. The higher the interest, the quicker your money's going to double. So this is good for you to know also if you're going to invest your money. If someone read my book, right? This is why you broke. And they say, hey, Odetta, I want to borrow that $100,000 you talked about in your book. I'm going to be like, sure, it's okay. But guess what? What interest am I going to charge them? Because I already know this information. So if I charge them 12% interest and they don't know this information and they take their sweet time to pay me back, I'm not tripping. Because the longer you take to pay me back, honey, your money is doubling and I'm going to make more money off of you. But guess what? That's what your credit card is doing. That's what your banks are doing. That's what your loans are doing. That's what your student loan is doing. That's what your mortgage is doing. This is why we got to know this information, because now when you're borrowing money, find out what's the interest and pay it off. Pay it off before it doubles, right? Because someone earning 4% will have 40,000 in 36 years. And someone earning 12% will have 640,000. Super important, right? That's a huge difference of $600,000. Now, when you and I put our money with the bank, I'm going to show you where the bank is putting your money. They're going to walk away with 600,000 and only give us 40,000 if we're applying these numbers. So who's winning the money game? Who's winning the money game? Right? You got to first know this information to win the money game, and then of course apply it. Now the second rule to money is taxes. Benjamin Franklin said it best, another one of my all-time favorite uncle. All my uncles are rich people, right? So what he said is, nothing is certain. Nothing is certain except debt and taxes. We're all gonna die one day, and we're all gonna pay tax all the time. Can't avoid it. So if you know this, how does that help you? Well, let's see. Tax now. You put your money in a checking, savings, CD, stocks, mutual. Guess what? You get paid at your job, you pay tax now. Put the money in there, you pay tax on the growth. It's called capital tax, right? It's what it is. But you got to know this information, right? It is what it is. You just got to know this information to win the money game. Now, let's look at the people who tell me, Odetta, girl, I'm doing good. I got a 401k. I'm maxing it out. I got money in my IRA. I got money in my 403b. I'm good. And I'm like, ooh, hold up. Wait a minute. That's a tax later account. Do you know what that means? No, what do you mean, Odetta? Well, you're not paying tax on the seed, which is your little money. You're going to pay tax on the harvest, which is the big money. And do you know how much tax are going to be in the future? If you're in your 30s right now, your 40s, your 50s, your 20s, do you and I know how much tax is going to be 10, 15, 20 years from now? We don't. So again, let's bring it back to you read one of my books and you borrowed that 100,000. But I don't tell you this time how much interest I'm going to charge you. Would you ever borrow money not knowing how much interest you're going to pay in the future? No, you wouldn't. Nobody would borrow money if they don't know how much interest they're going to pay. But guess what? We're all doing it. We're doing it with these accounts. That's why they're taxed later. We're putting our hard-earned money in a 401k, for example, and I'm saying 401k because most people know what a 401k is, and most people may have a 401k who know someone that have a 401k. But make no mistake, they're all tax later account. 403, 457, they're all tax later account. Same concept, same strategy, same principle. Grow, 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 grow. And then the bigger question is, how much do you get to keep? How much do you get to keep? Yes, you're growing this 401k, but now you're 65. Now you're ready to retire, and your 401k statement shows $1 million. Do you get to keep the whole entire $1 million? No, you don't. No, you don't. Uncle Sam is going to love you because he's going to tax that money first before, right? He's going to tax it. Tax advantage is where we want to be. But again, most people don't know this. Tax advantage says, I'm going to pay tax today. I'm going to pay tax while my money is little today. While I'm saving my 200, my 300, my 400, my 5, whatever, I'm going to pay tax today and get it out of the way. So when I'm 50, 55, 60, 65, whatever, I see in my account value, 100%. I'm keeping all of it. So again, I'm going to give you two scenarios. You have two people. They both have $1 million. One person, $1 million is in a tax later account. How much does he have to keep? How much does he get to keep? I don't know. He doesn't know. The other person got $1 million, but it's in a tax advantage account. How much do they get to keep? All of it. All of it. All of it. Why? They already paid the tax in the beginning. They already paid the tax years ago. Long time ago up front. When the money was little. When the money was little. And when they knew what the taxes were back then. Right? So, now that you know the second rule to money with deals with taxes, think about where you have your money. And now that you know better, where you should have your money. Third rule of money deals with your investment options. Everybody knows about the bank. That's the first place we run to put our money. And that's fine, right? We need the bank. You put your money with the bank, you're going to get a fixed interest. Your money is safe, but it's not going to grow a lot. It's not going to grow a lot, right? And for those of us that are West Indian and love to tell me, oh, Dad, I got a sue-sue. Oh, I'm trying to box hand. Well, girl, I'm glad that you're saving, but where's the interest? Where's the interest? I saw on Instagram a couple of weeks ago a guy, he was saving money in a bamboo, and I'm not going to call his name because he's pretty famous, right? He was saving money in a bamboo stick. And after 1 year, I think it grew to like 20-something thousand. And I'm like, wow, that's great. But he coulda, woulda, shoulda had more because none of his money grew any interest. None of it grew interest. It's just what he put in, he's getting the growth on what he put in. Where's the interest? So as much as I love my West Indian people, and my mom said it too, Dada, I did a lot of stuff with that susu. And I'm like, Mom, that's great. But you woulda, shoulda, coulda had more. But again, you don't know what you don't know. Can't knock on my parents because they didn't have this information. Now, you could also put your money in the stock market, where that is considered variable. Your money can grow, but there's no safety. And that's why we're going to be broke. Because we're growing it, but is it protected? Is it safe? Right? You see, you don't want to be rich today and broke tomorrow, or the potential of being broke tomorrow. I have a lot of clients that also tell me. I had a particular client that I spoke with last year, and he said, Odetta, where were you when I had 250,000 cash? Well, where was I? I don't know. Ask him how much he got today. Ask him how much he got today. I'll tell you how much he has today, less than 10,000. Making money is one thing. You got to grow the money and you got to keep the money. You don't want to be rich today and broke in the future. And we see this happening a lot. People have money today, but they don't know 5-10 years from now how much they're going to have. If you put your money in the stock market, there is no guarantee your money is safe. In fact, I'm going to guarantee you, you're going to lose. I'm going to guarantee you, you're going to lose. There's no guarantee the money is safe. I spoke to a client last night, right, in her 60s. She told me that I lost so much money already in the market. I lost so much money already in the market. And now I have to continue working longer. Well, brace yourself. If you're on this webinar tonight, thank the person who invited you. Because I don't have time to show this article, but the crash is coming. The biggest crash of our lifetime is scheduled for 2024. Nobody knows when, but we know it's happening this year. So if you have money in the stock market right now, follow the people who got money. And if you watch the moves that they've made in the last couple of weeks, they started selling their shares. Sell high, buy low. Sell high, buy low. Because they know the crash is coming, right? So if you have money in the stock market, yes, you can grow, but it's not guaranteed to be safe. The third place that you could also put your money for investment, and this is where most people don't know, this is why we do these webinars every Wednesday. So make sure you're always inviting people to come on and learn what is going on with their money. Life insurance companies. You see, most people will never think of, let me invest my money with a life insurance company. No, they don't teach us this. They don't teach us this. And quite frankly, they don't want you and I to know about this. Because if we know about this, we're not going to put our money in fixed and variable, or if we do, not as much. Now, when you put your money with an insurance company, and by the way, insurance in nature takes on the risk, right? That's what insurance does. They take on the risk. So when you put your money with an insurance company, now you have safety on your money and you have growth on your money. You got the best of both worlds. You got the best of both worlds. You rich today and you're going to rich next year and you're going to rich the following year and the following year and you're going to die rich, right? Because you ain't control of your future. Now, this is an article by Time magazine. And if you know, these companies or articles have nothing to do with our organization. Again, we're bringing information to the public so that they can be aware. Time magazine talked about an article, it's time to retire the 401k. Not WFG saying that, not OdettaKing.com saying that. This is a Time magazine. 401k is a tax code given by the IRS to tax you on your harvest. Why do they want to tax you on your harvest? Hello, ding, 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 it's big money. They don't want to tax you on the seed when your money is little. They want to tax you on the harvest when your money is big. So who is it really benefiting? You or them? You tell me. That's why we bring this information to you. So now you know better, right? And here's another article by Forbes magazine that talks about why Index Universal Life might be the new 401k. And here, for the people who love to read, here's another book Money, Wealth, Life Insurance. And I love Jake Thompson. I wish I had wrote this book because I talk about it in every presentation. I wish I had wrote this book, right? I probably need to contact Jake and get some royalties for promoting this book so much. Money, Wealth, Life Insurance. How the wealthy, not poor people, not the average people, how the wealthy people are using life insurance. Not for debt. Oh no, honey, not for debt. As a tax-free personal bank to supercharge their savings. Not for debt, right? But guess what? The banks already know this information. Corporations already know this information. You and I just don't know it. Well, we do now. That's why we're sharing it. Look at Bank of America. Look at Wells Fargo. Look at JP Morgan Chase. All the major banks have billions of dollars in life insurance. You think they're trying to bury people? You think they're getting all these $1 billion to bury people? Listen, listen, listen. Far from anything to do with burial. And look what it says. Banks are in the business of money. They have some of the greatest minds in the world, including economists, attorneys, accountants, financial analysts, and other advisors, helping them increase the efficiency and use of their capital. So who's helping you? Who's helping you increase your funds? We are. We're here for the people, right? It is not significant that banks place billions of dollars in life insurance. It's a reflection of the value they place on this powerful asset. For banks, it provides the ultimate in safety, stability, and growth. More importantly, the FDIC allows this asset to be classified as their Tier 1 capital, which is the safest capital a bank could have. Okay, so who's helping you? Who's helping you grow and protect your asset? The bank is not going to give you this information because they want it for themselves, right? They want it for themselves. But guess what? It's not only banks doing it. Banks are not the only one doing it, honey. Here's a list of several well-known companies that all of us right now got in our house. GE Electric, Procter & Gamble, AT&T, Nestle, Prudential Insurance, General Motors. I'm sure y'all got some Heinz ketchup in your house. I'm sure you got some Johnson & Johnson baby oil or Johnson & Johnson lotion or Johnson & Johnson powder. I'm sure you got a Pfizer medication in your house. I'm sure you're drinking Starbucks. I'm sure, including me, I got my Verizon cell phone. Walt Disney, United Healthcare, CVS. I got to go pick up my asthma medication with CVS. All of these major companies have billions of dollars in life insurance. So what is it that they know that you and I don't know? Why they're putting billions of dollars in these products, but we put in our money in the bank and the stock market? Hello? Help me make sense of this, because if these people got all this wealth and that's what they're doing, all they got to do is just follow the money. Follow the money. It's a proven path, right? So, when you're part of this organization, whether you're a member, you just want to come here and learn about money, or you choose to become a client and get a strategy, make no mistake, you now will be in control of your financial future. Because all of our strategies offer growth, it offers safety on your money, tax-free, and protection. We also have workshops, how to increase your cash flow, because guess what? At the end of the day, we all got to make more money. Follow the people who making the money. Follow the wealthy people. Follow the rich people. They got multiple streams of income. How much do you and I have? Well, guess what? When you start this business, just one business, WFG, has multiple sources of income in this one business opportunity. You have kids, you plan on saving for their college, you're gonna know what to do. You're gonna wanna set up an emergency fund because now you see the need for having an emergency fund and where to put your money to outpace inflation. Hint, hint, IUL all day, every day. If you ain't got an IUL, I'm just gonna put it out here right now. You need to get in touch with the person who invited you and make sure you learn and find out how you can get an IUL, right? Proper protection. All types of life insurance we cover. We're not like some companies where they only sell term or they only sell whole or they only sell, no, we provide all types. So that's why when someone sits with me or one of us, we can truly help you. It's not a one-sided or a biased conversation. If you go sit with someone from Primerica, you will never, ever, ever, ever learn none of these things we're telling you. Because number one, they can't offer it, so why educate you? If you go to New York Life, you will never, ever, ever, or MetLife, or Mass Mutual, you won't even know about some of these things. Why? Why would they tell you about it if they cannot offer it? Why would they tell you about it if they cannot offer it?